Hello mga kapasig and welcome back sa ating channel. For today's video, pag-uusapan lang natin ang ilan sa mga money traps na hinaharap ng ating mga kababayan, na ating mga kapwa OFW kapag nandito na tayo sa Canada or sa US or sa ibang man panig ng mundo. Bilang OFW, ang number one naman nating hangarin is umunlad at guminhawa ang buhay, 'di ba? That's why we're here. And yun talaga yung pinakang rason, and also to help our families, to give them a better life, especially sa mga anak natin, di ba? Yun talaga yung primary goal natin. Pero minsan pag nandito na tayo, nakarating na tayo, parang medyo sobrang excited tayo, and especially kung galing tayo sa mahirap na pamilya and we really experience poverty when we were young, and alam mo yon, talaga nakagis na natin yung minsan hindi ka makapag-ulam ng ah, masarap, or minsan nag-aasin lang, minsan, 'di ba? Yung mga gano'n, yung mga tipo natin na born in the year of 80s and 90s, yung mga nakaranas ng hirap na gano'n, na pagdating dito siyempre excited ka, gusto mong mabago yung buhay mo, maranasan yung mga bagay na hindi mo naranasan noon. So isa yon sa mga um, motivation natin, 'di ba? And dahil dito sa motivation na 'to and sa excitement, sa because of the previous experiences na naranasan natin, we tend to sometimes forget on how to think logically, and nawawala tayo sa focus, tapos we make decisions that are, especially financial decisions, that are detrimental para dun sa ating long-term goal dito sa bilang OFW. And yun nga, we fall into different types of money traps. So for today's video, guys, we will just talk about some of the money traps that we face as an OFW. Okay, sa unang money trap na pag-uusapan natin, we all know, bilang OFW, especially dito sa Canada, very very excited tayo sa pangarap natin na yung ating dream house, 'di ba? Talagang pag magpupursige tayo para makamit natin 'yan. And I have no problem with that, actually. But sometimes people overshoots themselves and buy too much house, and they end up being house poor. So bibili sila ng bahay na pagkamahal-mahal, pagkaganda-ganda, and they can, some of the people can afford these houses, these beautiful houses, brand new, attached garage, like oversized garage and all that, finished basement, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, or something like that, in a very good and newly developed community. Yun yung target ng ating most of us, FWs here in Canada. I myself, pangarap ko din yan, yung magandang brand new na bahay sa isang magandang subdivision, sa isang magandang area, di ba? Ayun lang, when I think about the costs of owning this house, medyo nag-aalangan ako kasi ang trabaho ko lang naman ordinaryo, and there is no guarantee that na yung trabaho mo is forever mo na, kumbaga forever kang employed. And there are times na uso dito yung mga layoff. And pagka bumili ka ng bahay, like a brand new house, a $500,000 house, magkano ang mortgage niyan, and plus yung, utilities and yung property tax and insurance. Sometimes yung iba kasi bumibili because of out of, the emotions, and sometimes they forget to think logically, and they don't consider their finances. Kahit na sabihin ng, agent or ng, mortgage specialist na you can afford this based on your credit score, based on your income and all that. Pero in reality, na overstretch yung budget nyo. And then you end up paying for a house that's cost you a lot. And sometimes, uh, the tendency is for you to, you know, work a double job or sometimes triple job just to afford the house and maintain your lifestyle. So, nangyayari, nawawalan ka na ng oras and, time sa pamilya mo, and also yung health mo, nako-compromise kasi nga double job ka, triple job ka, hindi ka na nakapagpahinga ng maayos, yung mental health mo, apektado na rin kasi nga kulang ka sa tulog, and sometimes stress ka pa sa trabaho. So, yun yung isa sa mga pitfalls ng owning a brand new house na feeling mo afford mo pero in reality overstretch pala yung budget mo. Now, sometimes I like I said, a house, if you think about it, is an investment. But yung investment na yan, natutulog yung pera mo diyan habang nakatira ka diyan because you keep on paying on that house, and it doesn't really generate you any income. It's like just a forced savings para ma-build yung equity mo. Swerte mo kung nakabili ka ng bahay way back like few years ago. Like say 10 years ago, nakabili ka ng brand new house sa isang magandang subdivision, sa isang newly developed area. Siguro yung value ng bahay mo nagdoble na, and on top of that, na bawasan na yung ano mo, yung mortgage mo kasi nga 10 years ka na nagbabayad. That's it's just those people that bought their house during the time, maganda yung timing nila. And it's not always the case. Sometimes nagka-crash ang real estate market, and it happened like way back 2008. A lot of people lose their house. Marami nawalan ng trabaho during the time. Nagkaroon na nga ng recession and all that. And yun yung iniiwasan nating mangyari. And right now, ang real estate market is at the peak. Most of the brand new houses dito sa Canada, o at least dito sa area namin, nasa 500,000 na ang brand new, and hindi pa finish ang basement nun, and wala pang fence, you still have to do the yard and all that. Excuse me. So, napakalaking talaga gastos ng bahay. Ako, ang suggestion ko, kung bago ka pa lang, you're a newcomer here in Canada, I suggest na depende sa area kung saan ka nakatira. Siyempre, may factor din yun. But I really suggest na kapag just really crunch the numbers, guys. If the bank approved you for say a 500,000 house, I suggest na just buy a $300,000, or if you can find a $350,000 house, or 300, even lower, much better. At least yon, hindi ka kumbaga hindi overstretch yung budget nyo, and ayun nga, basta as long as kumbaga walang major issues yung bahay and all that, and safe naman, and kung makakuha kayo sa isang medyo safe na neighborhood, mas maganda. So, yun lang ang masasuggest ko. Do not overstretch yourself in buying a brand new house. I know pangarap natin lahat 'yan, and yung iba sa atin is yung iba naman bumibili ng malaking bahay, and they use it to at least generate some income, katulad ng iba nating mga kababayan or yung ibang lahi na bumibili ng bahay, and then ang ginagawa nila, nagpapa-rent sila ng mga room or basement. So that helps them in paying down their mortgage. So yun, isa yun sa money trap, ang pagbili ng bahay na hindi mo talaga afford. Okay, ang isa pa sa mga money trap ng dito sa Canada para sa ating mga OFW is yung pagbili ng sasakyan. So, isa rin yan sa mga pangarap natin, guys, ang makapag-drive or magkaroon ng magandang sasakyan. Brand new. Para, di ba, iniisip natin para hindi ka problema sa maintenance, baka nasira. Pero kung bago ka pa lang dito sa Canada, kasi I heard a lot of stories, bago pa lang dito sa Canada and they don't even have a status yet, like they don't have a pathway for permanent residency yet, pero bumibili na ng mga bagong sasakyan, and they have like how much in a car note already. Okay yan kasi ginagamit sa trabaho, di ba? And um, you want a reliable na sasakyan. Pero if I were in your shoes, looking back, kasi sa bagay, yun din yung ginawa ko. When I came here in Canada, una ko sasakyan is, pinahiram lang ako ng tito ko, yung luma niyang RAV4. And then, nung nakapag-ipon na ako, and nagkaroon na ako ng ibang trabaho na medyo tumaas ang sweldo ko. I saved up, and then I bought a used vehicle or pre-owned na Toyota RAV4. It's a 2004 Toyota RAV4. After kong nabili ko yun, talagang masayang-masaya kasi yun yung kauna-unahang sasakyan na naging ano ko, kumbaga, na nabili ko na para sa akin. And hindi siya brand new, pero tuwang-tuwa ako doon kasi nga maganda, SUV, tapos Toyota pa. Pero used siya, pero I bought that RAV4, I think that was 2013. 2013 ko yata siya nabili, or 2014, somewhere around there. Yeah, 2013. Nabili ko siya, and then after, hindi ko siya fully paid. Hindi siya na fully paid. Naka-finance din siya, pero I see to it na babayaran ko siya agad. So, nabayaran ko siya within the first 6 months after buying the vehicle. Napaka-reliable niya, wala akong major issues. Siguro ang pinalitan ko lang noon is yung kung tanda ko is yung sway bar link. That's it. Sway bar link lang. Yun lang naging issue noon. The reason why na wala na sa akin yan is kasi during that time, pumunta na yung nanay ko and yung aking mother-in-law. So, we needed a bigger vehicle, and something reliable kasi maliliit pa yung bata. So, doon, kumbaga, kung nabilitan akong bumili ng brand new, itong Toyota Sienna, next month, mababayaran na to. Fully paid na siya. So, wala na akong planong bumili muna ng sasakyan. And I'll just keep on driving this one because wala naman akong issue dito. Kasi nga, brand new ko nabili. Yun, don't fall into the trap na just to, kasi yung iba sa atin, bumibili pick-up truck, hindi naman kailangan. Hindi naman nila ginagamit sa trabaho. So, ang mahal ng pick-up truck. Magkano ang biweekly niyan, tapos insurance, ang lakas pa niyan sa gas. So, sometimes na we fall into that trap na kung para kasi status symbol sa atin 'yan, eh, bilang mga Pilipino, 'di ba, yung mga sasakyan tsaka yung bahay, bahay na rin, status symbol 'yan. And aminin man natin at sa hindi, um, we want to look good on in the eyes of other people, na you want to look successful, 'di ba? 'Yun yung yun yung isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit natin binibili yung mga bagay na 'yan, sasakyan na bago and yung bahay na maganda is to prove to other people na we made it. Pero ang hindi nila alam, you're struggling to pay the bills, 'di ba? So don't fall into that trap, guys. Dapat, hindi natin iniisip yung opinion ng ibang tao sa atin. If we're living in a small simple house pero hindi naman tayo hirap sa pagbabayad, mas maganda 'yun. You're driving a, used vehicle pero reliable naman, mas maganda 'yun kasi mas maliit yung pera na nawawala sa'yo, 'di ba? 'Yun ang goal natin, eh. That's why we're here, kasi nga gusto natin makapag-ipon, right? Especially if you're planning to invest your money back home. Paano kung marami ka ng expenses dito, bahay at sasakyan pa lang yung pinag-uusapan natin. I know a lot of us ano, talagang ina-aspire natin yung magandang buhay, and we really do have to, kung gusto natin ng magandang buhay, we really do have to, think, be smart in our, financial, decisions. Purchasing a house, purchasing a vehicle, you know, those are the two things na talagang, that will, affect your, budget as an individual or a family. Ngayon, kung individual ka, if you can, live with the, uh, like, in a like a rooming house. I know it's not convenient pero yung savings mo, 'di ba, ang laki. And then ipunin mo yung savings na yon, and then if you can buy your own condo, two-bedroom condo, kung single ka, bumili ka ng two-bedroom, pa-rent mo yung other bedroom. Isa 'yan sa mga diskarte. Or you can buy a condo, rent the whole condo out, and just make sure that you work on the numbers and you end up with a positive cash flow. So you own the property and you have a cash flow, and you still keep on renting on a rooming house, or on a one bedroom apartment or a studio. So something like that. I know it's a sacrifice sa una, pero if you reach to the point na, kaya mo na, may pan-down ka na, 'di ba? Ah, 'Di ba, it really makes sense, and gano'n ka-ano lang 'yan, gano'n kabilis mo lang maiipon 'yan. It depends kung anong klaseng lifestyle meron ka. So 'yun, guys. So yung bahay and yung sasakyan, if you can start with a used vehicle na reliable pa naman, maghanap ka ng tao na mapagkakatiwalaan mo na, or may alam sa sasakyan, tumingin ng sasakyan. Excuse me. Bumili ka muna ng used. Can be from a dealership. It can be from a private sale. Just make sure you do your work, like your research about your vehicle. Pag wala kang idea talaga totally, you need to have somebody with you na marunong sa sasakyan pag bibili ka ng sasakyan. Isa yan sa malaking factor na pwedeng makaapekto sa budget mo dito. Okay, another one, guys, is yung pagbili ng mga luxury goods, like yung mga luxury bags, luxury shoes, anything luxury na you can do without. Like a bag is a bag, like a shoes is a shoes. I know, comfort and quality and all that, pero why would I buy $1,000 worth of a handbag or a shoulder bag, pero wala naman akong ilalaman doon. 'Di ba? You're just fooling yourself. People know what you do for a living, and sometimes we end up, kasi uso sa atin dito hanggang ngayon, uso yung live selling, and people are offering these luxury goods with a payment plan. If you cannot afford that to buy in cash, that handbag or that pair of shoes, pair of shirt, yung mga branded na yan, if you cannot pay that on cash, that means you cannot afford it. So, simple as that, guys. I know it's very tempting. Pangarap natin lahat yan. Yung mga luxury goods. When I was in elementary and high school, parang ganun din ako eh. Gusto ko mahirap lang kami, guys. Mahirap. And people know, yung mga nakakilala sa akin, alam yung buhay namin. Minsan nag-iipon ka, makakabili lang isang pirasong Mosimo or Guess na damit or Levi's. Yun, nag-iipon ka para doon eh, di ba? Kasi nga parang during that time, nahihiya ka kasi ang suot mo ano lang, cheap lang na damit, di ba? Pero nung nagkapamilya ka na, lumaki ka na, parang sa akin it doesn't really make sense eh, and it doesn't give me like that. I don't feel satisfied buying those things na luxury. Para kasi it doesn't make sense. But why would I pay for that much? Ito lang naman yung function niya, 'di ba? Yung bag na luxury, say $1,000, $500, and wala ka namang mailaman. So don't fall into the trap, guys. I know it's very tempting, and we sometimes do have to reward ourselves. But ang sa akin lang, my point is, do not overdo it. Always look into your budget. Don't be emotional when purchasing something. Kailangan you really have to think about it, and you really have to think logically and set aside your emotions and think, crunch the numbers and think about your future. Kasi these small things, yung mga, even the small purchases that we make, if we don't really think about them, masusurpresa ka na lang, ba't ito na lang ito na lang natitira sa sahod ko or sa bank account ko? Ba't ang laki ng credit card bill ko? 'Di ba? Minsan it really does come to that point na masusurpresa ka kasi hindi mo alam kung saan napunta yung pera mo. And you just have to look around, right? Oh, dito mo ginastos 'yan. Oh, eto binili mo 'yan, di mo naman ginagamit, 'di ba? Maraming gano'n eh, maraming gano'n na senaryo. Stop comparing yourself, guys. Stop comparing yourself sa ibang tao na nakikita nyo sa social media, yung kaklase mo nung high school, ang ganda-ganda na ng buhay, and you wanna one-up them. Or, di ba? People do that, and it really is, human nature na, kumbaga, you feel jealous, sana ako din, ganyan. You don't know kung ano yung pinagdaanan ng mga tao na yon para makamit yung mga tagumpay na yon or mga bagay na yon. And hindi natin alam, masaya ba talaga sila doon sa buhay nila, sa purchases nila, wala ba silang regret? Kasi may tinatawag na buyer's remorse, guys eh. Sometimes people, pagka nabili na-achieve na yung bagay na yan, they will soon realize na nagkamali sila. May mga ganun. So, yun guys, don't fall into that trap na buying too much house, buying too much car, and buying too much luxury goods that you really don't need. Yung iba nangongolekta, mga Jordan shoes. Okay siya if your intention is to resell it for a profit. maganda yon. Pero if you're just gonna display it and not even use them, what's the point? What's the point? Para lang picturean mo and post it in your Facebook account and show the people that you have all these things. Sa akin lang yun, yeah, it's ano, sa'yo naman yun, and you paid for it. But you know to yourself kung ano yung intentions mo, 'di ba? A lot of us, ang intention is to show people what we have and what we achieve. And a lot of these people doesn't even care. Yung inggit, yung saya, panandalian lang na yan na nararamdaman. But your future self will thank you kapag naging responsible ka sa mga financial decisions mo. So, yun lang guys. Maraming salamat and I hope you guys like this video and nakarelate kayo. If you happen to be watching this for the first time, my name is Jeff and I talk about our personal journey into achieving financial freedom and financial independence, and we're also hoping to retire early. So yeah, if you like this video guys, please like, subscribe, and comment down below ano ba yung mga money traps na sa tingin nyo na dapat iwasan pa ng ating mga kapwa OFW. Yun lang guys, maraming salamat.